Hello, everyone. I'm Wendy DeRosa, and this is the first statement that I've made on behalf of the School of Intuitive Studies around the issue of racism and white privilege. And it's taken me a while, mostly in respect for the voices that need to be heard right now and Black leaders, and also out of my own personal processing and my own learning and my own deep listening and the conversations we're having here on this level with the school and in our lives and in my community. So I wanted to address you in my community here at the School of Intuitive Studies, and I want to let you know that in making this video, that I'm acknowledging that, I'm a human being who is flawed, who is not perfect, and I'm learning, and I'm having every day the courage to sit in the uncomfortable. And so I'm coming to you in this message with the awareness that I may not please everybody in what I have to say, and there may be things I say that are that don't land well, and I don't know. I've done a lot of self-censoring, and at this point, I just wanted to speak some truth and speak more freely to you. So I want to let you know that the School of Intuitive Studies and my work as an intuitive healer has always held the position that we do the deep healing work, and that is the work that is part of intuitive development and spiritual growth and being an empath and of consciousness rising. We continue to support students who are processing deep inherent wounds, intergenerational, through the lineage, culturally, and as a soul. All of those are extraordinarily important when we're talking about we're talking about racism and inherent white privilege. The work we do is to look at these deep blind spots and these deep subconscious places. I'm not saying we're perfect, but this is a lot of what the School of Intuitive Studies offers, is deeper healing work. And that we're not afraid of the shadow. This is part of integration as a human being. Intuition is part of being a human being, and that we are supporting us each, myself and all of us here, to not be afraid of the shadow that we're holding, but to increase our capacity for it, because this is what will help human consciousness rising. In the light of the topic of racism and white privilege, I want to let you know where I stand. The School of Intuitive Studies has always had a no tolerance for discrimination against Black people, people of color, gender, or sexual orientation. I unequivocally stand for justice and equality. And we have so much to learn, and we have so much more to go, and we have so much more to heal. And we are doing our work. It's going to take time. We are working behind the scenes. We're talking about it behind the scenes. We are strategizing and planning. It's going to take time. Social justice has always been an active part of my life and my work. And I believe that spiritual healing and social justice are not separate. Social justice and equality are some of the deepest healing work we can be doing right now. And I want to say a little bit more about that. So whether we realize it or not, whether you realize it, I realize it, that we are holding blind spots that help us survive in a system that is corrupt. If you've taken courses with me before, or any of my programs, you have heard me say over and over again about the root chakra area of our body. I'm going to get a little bit energetically geeky here on you. The root chakra area at the base of our tailbone is the part of our body that's transforming in human consciousness right now. It's the most powerful place in our system that is shifting and crumbling and unearthing, and really coming to a place of deeper truth, but it's messy. The root chakra is our place of trust and truth and race and justice and community and connection to the world and to the earth, loving the earth, caring for the earth. I mean, these are all aspects of our attachment here on this earth. And what we've been operating on a deep subconscious level is a corrupt structure that is inherently woven into our energetic system in our body. And it's our work to become conscious to what we're unconsciously holding in our system. We'll continue to keep doing that work. Spirituality for me is not bypassing this level of shadow work. We're human. We're all going to have our blind spots. But to me, it means we are not bypassing the history that we hold in the lower body, in the lower chakra system specifically, just to be in the heart. We want to be in the heart. We want that connection. And if we're going to heart and wanting to love everyone and having higher ideal, spiritual beliefs and projecting them onto people, it's not going to land well. The deeper work that we're here for, the deeper embodiment is about getting really real about the blind spots and the innate, inherent energy we're holding in our system as a white person, as any race, really, but certainly as someone who is white, of white privilege. So we need to go deeper into these wounds around racism, white privilege, gender bias, or anything else that would have come through patriarchal teachings that affect who we are, even as sensitive beings, as intuitives, as good-hearted people. I've said this many times in my classes, that the wounded patriarchy has injured the feminine in both men and women throughout time. And the feminine in both men and women includes race and gender and sexual orientation, and that is rising. The feminine is rising. These injustices are rising. We're unsuppressing. This is in a very, very important time. It has to unearth right now. And it needs to, if we're going to move towards a place of unity. We have to stop polarizing that there are good emotions and there are bad emotions, and there's light and there's dark, and there's good people and there's bad people, and really increase our capacity, gain skills and tools on how to work with the darkness that lives inside all of us. We have to be willing to hold space for the painful unearthing that's happening right now, even if you are feeling exposed as someone of white privilege, or grieving the continuation of unlawful death in the Black community, or feeling the suppression yourself. It's our time to hold space and become part of the uprising that needs to happen for unity to ever happen, even if it's 500 years from now. You are part of a revolution, a shift in consciousness, and a pivotal time in history. We are in currently our consciousness awakening. This is it. This is our great awakening. And my recommendation is that, again, we do our work. We look at our shadow and our blind spots. To me, that means digging deep into your healing and exploring the historical roots to your being, and even feeling what your ancestors felt, and deeply processing the lineage. So feel what got passed down to you and how you might have been influenced inherently without realizing it. As we take responsibility for our deep healing and have our eyes open to how people of color and the LGBTQ communities and our Black communities do not live with freedom, know that this is a step in our trajectory of unification, that we are doing this deeper healing work. I believe in the power of prayer. I believe in meditation. I also believe in civil rights. And I personally have my senators' phones numbers programmed into my phone. And I want to remind you, as I consistently remind myself, they work for us. So, should you feel powerless and not knowing what to do in the state of the world, you have a voice. And sometimes advocacy is right action, and it can take you out of a feeling of powerless and hopelessness and helplessness by picking up the phone and calling your senators, or donating, or petitions, or going out and protesting and listening. I mean, we can go down the list. Reading the books, educating ourselves, all of us, we're in it. And there is always something we can do to support the anti-racist movement by taking action to support our Black communities and our people of color. Thank you so much. And I am here for you. And we're here at the School of Intuitive Studies again, doing the deeper shadow work, doing the deeper healing work. And I hope that we continue to be a space for you to know that you can be you and you can come for healing. Thank you so much. Many blessings.